Hey everyone, this is your weekly episode of the Zephyr podcast, where we talk about all things Zephyr, embedded, open source, lots of other cool stuff. I'm Benjamin, your co host.
I'm Fabio, your other co-host. There has been some drama on Discord this week, or maybe not. Maybe it's been a bit of a nothing burger. I don't know about you, but
Drama on Discord or about
about
Discord?
Discord, I feel a bit younger. I think you also feel a bit younger. They rolled out a new feature, a new setting, and they called it Teen by Default. So we are all teenagers now, apparently.
Did they actually? I should know. So they rolled it out already?
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
bit confusing. So apparently Discord added a setting for every user which tells you if you are a teenager or not. And by default, you are a teenager. Congratulations, you all got younger, or maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, what does this mean in practice? We're not sure. We're trying to figure it out.
I think it's sort of like reflecting what some countries are doing these days to restrict access to social networks to younger people. And it looks like Discord is changing some of their terms. I was asking you just before because for me personally, I didn't see any change, but we've seen some people in the community being either like impacted, like for people who might be in different servers, different channels. Some of them might be set to be adult only sort of thing, and in which case those folks would need to verify their identity if they want to keep accessing their stuff. But I think we might need to discuss what we need to do or want to do Discord wise. In the meantime, the way I see it is teen by default, whatever that is, should be fine for anyone. Like if you do Zephyr stuff, you set up an account that's going to be dedicated to that, possibly. And
Yeah, well, I think that the controversy is in the way that Discord implemented the verification, where they want you to either scan your face with your phone, and there's probably some AI involved, or upload a picture of your document. And many people really don't want to do it,
Right.
rightfully so, right?
Yeah, but then I guess how else would they do it? Like if the thing is really about verifying the age. But yeah, like I mean, again personally, I wasn't impacted,
Same.
but also personally, I'm kind of like a developer advocate, etc. So I certainly hear the concerns. It's not like there's any perfect solution. I think in terms of like some kind of solution similar to Discord to do the live conversations. But if people are aware of alternatives, we could certainly consider using something else, with the caveat and the challenge, which is always, I mean, we have a big community already on Discord. Switching platforms might always be a challenge. And also, what I think should be mentioned, and what I think, again, personally, I observe quite a lot, is that Discord isn't and shouldn't be, people shouldn't perceive it as like a mandatory or even like the main communication channel for the project. Like if you want to discuss technical topics and stuff, bugs, issues, like they come in through GitHub. Request for comments, like literally that's through GitHub as well. We have GitHub discussions, which hopefully are accessible to the majority of the globe.
Or issues, really. In fact, I think you could make an argument that you shouldn't really use Discord for things that you want to find later, right? For example, if you're troubleshooting a bug and you're being helped by the community, if you put your information on Discord, it's gone. But if you put the backtrace, the troubleshooting and the resolution on a GitHub issue, it's going to get indexed. If somebody else bumps into the same issue and they Google the error, they're going to find the issue. But if it's on Discord,
Yeah, totally. And we have also this thing that GitHub gives us for free, which is you might be opening something as an issue because it feels to you like it's an issue, but effectively you're only mainly asking a question. So we can easily convert so-called GitHub issues into GitHub discussions, or the other way around. So yeah, I mean, long story short, don't. I think I wouldn't
Don't
necessarily
panic.
not panic or not overthink the fact that the platform might have changed a few things here and there. But yeah, that was again, we should keep an eye on it for sure. Just like we should keep an eye, I guess, on Discord drama. There's also AI drama these days, or LLM drama. This is being discussed on Discord, but this is also showing up on GitHub and on issues. Certainly, these days, there's more and more people using AI agents and LLMs to help them with reviewing code, writing code, sometimes commenting on general discussions on GitHub pull requests, etc. Some people are expressing concerns about the fact that maybe the signal to noise ratio is slightly going in the wrong direction, and like, what should we do about it as a project? And we should probably discuss again. I think we discussed it a few months back already, but we should probably have some guidelines and like recommendations in terms of what we sort of like accept or not. With the, one challenge is, for better or worse, there are situations where you don't know for sure whether you're interacting with an AI, and there might be some things that trigger people and may have them feel like they are talking to an AI, but no, they're just talking to someone who is maybe not using English as their native language. Who you feel are being overly polite, and that's a bot. No, that's not. That's just someone who. That's just the way they interact.
I am pretty sure I'm reviewing a pull request from a person that is using AI for the comments. It's like very polite, very well written English, and the code is good. The person is responsive. Like,
sure. What I've seen a lot, and I think it's actually not new, but maybe people notice it more. But like, I've seen lots of people from Asia, basically, who sometimes are not super comfortable with the English language. You can tell that they are translating their thoughts and their comments from their native language to English through some tools. And I guess historically the tools were like really basic. We're doing literal translations, and maybe now the tools with some LLMs in the mix end up making the things look even more like maybe overly polite and stuff. But that should, again, like, it's the code that matters. Who cares whether it's as long as it's not too much, right? But we should, I think we hear this coming up and popping up more and more, so we should certainly discuss it more as a project, not just a random digression by the French guy and the Italian guy on the Zephyr podcast.
Yeah. Talking about Italian guys.
Oh, the mafia, the embedded mafia.
Yeah. No. There's a good friend of mine from university many years ago that sent me a message last week, and it was like, "Hey, you merged my sister pull request." Wow. I was not expecting that. Small world, yeah. So it turns out that this guy does not work on embedded, but apparently his sister does. And she's contributing to Zephyr. Open her first pull request. I merged it in a batch. Didn't even realize it. Sometimes it's surprising. It's really not as big of a community. It's nice to observe that, right? We can still get to a conference, talk to each other, know each other. It's really nice.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Linux. I forgot. The new release came out. I forgot the name, but the interesting thing is the next release is going to be Linux v7. When are we going to catch up? We should do the thing as well. Wasn't it a thing when...
we might, right? How many cycles do they have again? Like 21 or something? Or 19?
No, it's like when Linux feels like it bumps the major number.
I thought I read something like when he runs out of fingers to count.
Oh, yeah.
Or something.
I think that was a joke.
Okay, whatever. But Yeah, I think, it's a non-event in a sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's why we sort of wanted to mention it as a reminder, I guess. Just like for Linux, the fact that it bumps to V7 doesn't necessarily mean big new features, big breakages API wise. It's just the same for Zephyr. When we go from any version to the other, really, whether it's a 3.6 to a 3.7 or from a 3.7 to a 4, there's no meaning like in terms of semantic versioning, besides maybe the fact that when we ship an LTS, we just increase the major number version, but that's it. Apart from that, just look for like each and every API's versions to that's what indicates whether some new big features made it or some new breaking APIs were introduced. So yeah, and it's been a while now, I think, since I asked you what interesting hardware projects have you been working on, and this time I think you have some interesting
So
things
there's
to
a bit
talk.
of a surprise. So when I came back from FOSDEM, I had something I was working on before FOSDEM, and I had to drop it because it wasn't quite working right. So I was playing with some access points on my network, and I was just playing specifically with the handover from an access point to another one. And I have this new switch that I bought. So I have my setup, and when I'm roaming my laptop from an access point to another, it was taking 5 minutes for the traffic to flow again, which was really weird. I wasn't expecting that. So as it turns out, it was a problem with my fancy new switch. This is a MaxLinear MXL 86282. It's one of the new chip chip switches are coming out with 2.5 plus 10 gigabit Ethernet.
Boring. What does it have
Boring.
to do with what does it have to do with Zephyr?
So I found that the switch had a feature that should not have been there, and I tried to figure out to disable it. So I opened it up, and then I looked. I was looking for a configuration EEPROM, and I found it, and it was not a configuration EEPROM. It was a flash. It was 2 megabyte flash. So this thing is running a firmware. So I start looking for some information of the firmware that it runs, and I find a post of somebody finding a console on the switch. This is an unmanaged switch, right? So theoretically, there shouldn't be much running on it. So the person posts the help of the shell for the switch, and it all looks very familiar, suspiciously familiar. In fact, this thing is running Zephyr.
That's
I was
awesome.
I was not expecting that. So
Which version? Were you able to figure out which version?
Yeah, it was 3. The one I have is based on 3.2, which is fairly recent, right? This thing has been on the market
I guess
for
it's
a
not
couple of
crazy
years.
old, but
Yeah. So here's the story. The chip contains the switch matrix, all of the fancy stuff that it does, and then apparently this family of switches used to be some sort of more high-end enterprisey thing, which used to be paired with a Linux SoC for the managed part. And at some stage, they integrated a microcontroller class of device. This is a ARC, I think, one of those synthesized core. And so the current one just runs RTOS, which happens to be Zephyr, and it has an internal interface. It has the network stack, and the network stack can send frame on the fabric, and you can receive it on your network. And when they implement the managed version of this switch, which I don't have, they just put a bigger flash, and they have the management UI running on Zephyr using the TCP IP stack. It was really, really cool. So I was able to find the pins of the serial port of my switch, and then I was able to disable that miss feature with the serial port. Yeah, but then it was not permanent, right? Because
yes,
at every reboot it was running. So I took another board of mine, I soldered it on the serial port, I made it intercept the boot and send the command to disable the feature. So my switch now runs to Zephyr.
right, yes, wow.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And
Yeah.
so when you told me the story, I didn't realize it was like a brand new device that you just bought. I thought that was something you had like in your drawers from years ago.
Yeah, no, it's weird. And so I looked up the story of this chip and this company because MaxLinear didn't say anything to me, but apparently they're pretty popular. So here's what happens: the company used to be called Lantic
Oh,
back when
right.
it
Yeah,
was
that
founded.
sounds familiar. Yeah.
Rings a bell, right? Which was then bought by Intel.
Oh, and
And
is Intel doing anything with Zephyr? Yeah,
yeah,
that's why.
that's
Yeah,
why, right? It all makes
that's
sense.
really, yeah, really cool finding. I'm sure there's many other devices just like that out there.
Yeah, but I just didn't realize I had one running on my desk, right?
With a bug, but it had
Uh,
nothing to do
it,
with Zephyr.
it wasn't a bug, really. It was just a security feature that the person that did the firmware for this thing decided to enable in their infinite wisdom. I'd love to just reprogram it. And if you're wondering, can you refresh it? Probably not, because reading from the datasheet, there's the whole security story and signature. It runs MCU boot as well. Yeah, anyway.
Oh yeah, don't break it. Don't break it.
Yeah, I need a switch to switch.
Mm-hmm. All right. There was an interesting blog post we wanted to give a shout out to. The folks over at Goliath, Mike, this time around, did a really nice blog post about one of those subsystems in Zephyr that's really versatile when you have to do anything with buttons and touch screens and whatnot, the input subsystem. And so, yeah, did you want to talk to this? Because, of course, you are the input subsystem guy, I guess.
Yeah. I wrote some of this code. So Mike Sheen from Goliath, he did an article. They have very good posts on the Goliath blog, which are not necessarily related to Goliath. They just do these technical articles on Zephyr quite often, but not only that. This time it was the input subsystem turn. So they did a nice article where they explain what it is, how to use it, and more importantly, how to use some of their feature, which are implemented as like virtual software devices. Like they use the device model, but they're not actually hardware devices. Some people don't like it, but it works really well in this case. So we will link it in the notes. Check it out. You're using the input subsystems.
Yep, really, really cool blog post. I agree. Something else we spotted on social media, I guess. Back to the AI topic, but this one makes for a really cool and impressive demo, I think. Wojciech from Nordic apparently had some really good fun recently bringing up a new shield to Zephyr and basically writing the entire support for it. It's a shield with a display on it. And so the interesting aspect of the demo is that Wojciech asked Claude specifically to write and to do the bring up of this display, but also told Claude, if you need, here's my webcam. It's pointed at the screen of my board. That might be useful. And that was, I think, the gist of the prompt. It's really just a couple lines, and you can see in the demo, which is not real time. It's like probably 5x or 10x acceleration, but still you can see the LLM agent iterating through configuring basically the display controller for the shield, realizing that when you flash and display something, it's all messed up, like inverted colors or whatever, and fixes the stuff until it completes. And I think I don't remember if the post said that, but it feels, at least from the video, that it's like a so-called one shot. Like it's like you ask a couple lines of, you give the prompt, and when it's done and it works. So I think it's impressive. I was sharing that with a friend the other day, and they were telling me, and I think that would be also an option, if you have like a logic analyzer. That's also, I think, something you could add to the mix. You are troubleshooting a driver like an SPI or I2C driver, and you have a bug somewhere. Maybe your LLM agent will be able to take the feed from the logic analyzer and figure out what's wrong, timing wise or whatnot. Like interesting explorations.
You should do a demo with that.
Yeah, I very Yeah, that might be actually an excuse to buy some
Yeah.
fancy logic analyzers and stuff. But yeah, no, I think I like the idea. Again, it's a tool. It's a tool, and you use it. You combine it with your own brain, and you do creative stuff. That's it.
in a very polite way.
All right.
New features.
New features, new drivers.
This
This
is
one
in
hasn't.
progress.
Yeah, this is in progress, but it feels like it's getting close to being merged. A new, well, speaking of displays, a new display driver for QEMU and specifically, I mean, QEMU displays and the RAM frame buffer that QEMU has. So I think this one, I didn't have a chance to try it, but I think Fabian gave it a try. It seems to be working really well. What I really like about it is that I, as a Mac or primarily a Mac user, this will probably give me an option whenever I want to run code. I cannot really easily do native sim unless I do some like Docker stuff, etc. Just like, I mean, you know what I mean if you use the Mac. But QEMU, that works a charm. And whether it's QEMU x86 or ARM or RISC-V or Extensa, you name it. So now basically all those boards, all those QEMU boards will have a display. And so you will not, yeah, I guess next would be to add also input and touch screen detection, if that's a thing in QEMU. But
yeah, so the pull request is to use the frame buffer in the display subsystem. So right now, what you can do if you want, what you have to do if you want to test a display application locally is using SDL, right? Which is going to open a window into you, don't have any other option. But but on the Mac you can. Yeah, this is really cool. I'm pretty sure it can be, the input can be done, because I checked the pull request and yeah, there is no input counterpart, but I don't see why you wouldn't be able to have the input event sent to the input subsystem. You would have to be a touchscreen, but I'm pretty sure that the QEMU emulates the touchscreen just fine. You may have to do some tweaking the configuration. Very good, very cool.
Yeah, no, this one is really, really, really cool. Yeah, looking forward to playing with it. And again, I think it will be probably ready to be merged imminently. So really cool.
Nice. So what's up with the documentation?
Oh, yeah, this one I wasn't expecting to see it merged, but I had been iterating on this for quite a bit. In short, there's now a framework, an infrastructure to better document what people need to implement when they want to implement a given driver class. It's like usually when you do, well, say a new input driver or a new display driver or whatever, you don't really have Doxygen, like online documentation. You would need to either look at how things are done in existing drivers, or figure out where in the header file the different driver operations are being described. But it's all there was no really like framework to structure this kind of documentation. Now there is. We will be linking to the some examples of how it looks like. It's still, we need to iterate on this a bit more, but I think this will help people, like specifically and mainly, I guess, figure out like for a given driver class, out of the, say, 10 driver operations that are available, what are the ones that you must implement as opposed to the ones that are optional, right? And this is, in some subsystems, there's actually a big difference. Some of them don't actually require to have any. There's nothing that's required. You bring whatever is available for your hardware, and the rest is optional. In other cases, it can be different. So yeah, this documents these kind of things now. So link in the show notes.
Cool. So we have a new API for shell command line. We apparently, Peter decided that we need command that can read entire lines, like for doing interactive command. When you run the command, then it prompts you, give me a string, and then hit return to continue. So this is an equivalent of the read line thing you have in Unix system. So we now have a read line in Zephyr. You can use it if you want to do somewhat more interactive shell command. Should you do it? I have no idea, but now you can.
Yeah, I thought we had something like that already, but that's cool stuff. The shell subsystem is really pretty rich, so it's great to see more.
It's very cool when you buy a device and it finds that it does have a shell and a very good one. So more shell stuff.
Recognize that shell. Yeah.
Leave them open in your production firmware, please. It's very useful. Anyway, drivers.
This one, I think I remember discussing this driver and the fact that Carlo was working on that. I remember discussing that with someone at FOSDEM. We now have Carlo, a long-time contributor to Zephyr, spending a lot of time on LoRa and LoRaWAN these days. And this week, one of his pull requests just got merged to add a native LoRa driver for the Semtech SX126X series. And I think many people in the community will find it interesting because people tend to have strong opinions with regards to the kind of IP and the HALs and the different libraries that historically Semtech has been providing. So this is, I guess, a step in the direction of less dependencies towards this code.
When I started using Zephyr, one of the reasons why I looked into it was because I was working on some LoRa device, and there was quite some appeal in the fact that somebody was maintaining the integration with that code and shielding me, providing me a clean API to use it. So thank you, Carlo. He's taking it a step further, just rewriting the whole damn thing from scratch. Fair enough.
But and I think there's more that will be coming. If I remember correctly, there's another couple PRs in flight, LoRa-wise and LoRaWAN as well. So
right, I'm pretty sure this is going to expand, right? Like I think if we can end up with some clean driver, there's some value in that. Clearly, the LoRa folks were happy with it, right? Because it got merged. Good stuff.
Okay, Tim, tell me about new boards. Not that many this week, but there's a new Realtek one. What's interesting about this one?
Yeah, I picked this one because it looks interesting. This is the RTL 8721F, aka the Amoeba G2. I did the review. It's a cool chip, more than the board itself. The chip is a Cortex M55 plus 2 Realtek processor. Is their specific in-house chip. This is something that we see in a lot of modern SoC, apparently. 0.5 meg of RAM, external flash. This one is cool because it has a motion JPEG hardware decoder. I don't know what they're going to do with it, but it's interesting. And it has an Ethernet MAC and USB 2 high speed. It uses a lot of binary blobs. It seems like an interesting chip. I don't know if you can buy it. It's like Realtek stuff. Usually you have to either get in touch with them or find one on AliExpress or something. But still bad. It looks like a good chip. Yeah. Anyway, it's
and at least there's an evaluation board that exists, and I hope this one is something that people can get. But
maybe you can buy that one because I don't know. It really looks like an interesting device. So the Realtek folks seems to be on top of their game for connectivity stuff in other areas. If they can put some chips on the market which are available and cheap and well connected, maybe worth a try.
That's cool. Nordic did bring up a new SoC.
They sneaked in the SoC. There's no board yet, but this is another good one for them. This is the NRF64 LM20B. They keep adding
LLM? Did you say LLM?
No. LM.
Oh, okay.
That said, one of the fancy things of this one is that it has a Axon NPU. So I guess. Yeah.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, LLM it is.
They should have called it. Send them a message. I'm sure they still have time to change the part number. So this is Nordic stuff. BLE, this one has Wi-Fi, but it's 2.4 gigahertz only. It's too bad. But it looks like a interesting part. They have a QFN chip. This one you can buy it, and since it's a QFN, you can solder it on a board without
Mhm.
super expensive PCB. Looking forward to see a evaluation board for this one.
Nice. And I think that's pretty much the news that we had for this week. I was told that just yesterday, recording this on Friday the 13th. Ooh, scary. And yesterday, the Zephyr meetup in Switzerland in Winter Tour was like packed. Well over 100 people attended.
Wow.
So that's I guess my weekly-ish reminder that you should totally check out the Zephyr project website, all the events that we have listed there, because there's meetups coming up near you, most likely. And also one thing that I wanted to mention is that we are now a month away from Embedded World, where Zephyr will have a really big presence. So check out the Zephyr website and the various mailing lists. We would love to get people to join us and to participate in celebrating the Zephyr 10-year birthday or 10-year anniversary. If you want to send some cool videos and testimonies of things you've been doing with Zephyr over the last X years, depending on how long you've been around. This would be great. We will be doing, of course, lots of social media posts, etc. And this would be a good way to celebrate. There's also a really nice report that's being put together based on a survey that we did a few months back. You might remember. So it'll look at the evolution of Zephyr and the RTOS landscape over the last 10 years. So really cool stuff coming up. And if you are in Nuremberg in a month, come and say hi for sure at the Zephyr booth or in the Zephyr track that will be a conference track on the Tuesday of the conference. With that, I think that is for this week's round of news. Don't forget to subscribe, give us your stars and thumbs up and stuff like that on whatever platform you're joining us from and listening from. That's it. Have a good rest of your weekend, and talk soon. Bye.
Bye.